What's going on, guys? Austin back, and today I'm bringing you with a little bit of a new video. As you can see by the title of the video, it's going to be my review on Operation High Stakes Tier 10 Season 3 of Rainbow Six Siege. Obviously, I kind of wanted to make this video because we all know the stuff that's going on with Siege. It's dying. You know, if you've been on Twitter, you've seen the Save Siege hashtag, stuff like that. And I wanted to really just dive into this season and everything that it added and see if it really is warranted of this hate, or maybe is it like not that bad of a season and it's just kind of how this current state of the game is why it's getting the hate it is. So make sure you guys hit the like, subscribe button, and my socials are down in the description. Without further ado, let's get right into this video. And I'm not even gonna cut, we're just gonna go straight into it. I'm pretty much just gonna go through everything. I have like a list down here that I'm looking down on of everything added in this season, and I'm just gonna go through it, give you my thoughts, and then at the end of the video I'll rate it. First thing, obviously, you can see him on the screen, Mike Dean himself. Denari is the first person we're going to talk about because this is the largest batch of new content that we actually got in this season. And I will say about Denari, I'll try to keep it short and sweet. Denari is a fantastic operator. I don't care what you say about the season. I don't care what bad you have to say about Siege. I think they did a fantastic job with Denari because he is just such a, great operator in the sense of you can do anything with him. And what I mean by that is like his gadget. It is so like just versatile where you can play it anywhere, right? Because you can throw all these different things, connect all these different wires. I don't know why I said that weird. Wires anywhere. If they're pushing one side of the map, you can put all your stuff on that side of the map. You know what I mean? And in a sense, I think it is just a very cool concept for an operator that is, I think, really strong. And honestly, I think it's just cool. I think it's just really cool. It's strong, but I think to a certain point, it's kind of balanced. I do think he's very strong, but at the end of the day, I think Denari is a fantastic operator just because it's fun. It's a fun gadget. It's a effective gadget, and it's just kind of a breath of fresh air kind of gadget for me personally. I don't know how everyone else feels, but I think Denari is a fantastic operator, and I'll maybe spoil it a little bit. I think he is easily the best part of this season. I think without Denari, my feelings and a lot of other people's would not be very positive on the season. Denari is a fantastic operator. He has a good loadout. He gets a new gun, which I'll talk about. It's a secondary shotgun. It's all right. You know what I mean? It's whatever. More people will probably get it next season and in the future, which maybe I'll have more thoughts on it. But it's whatever. It's whatever. But Denari as an operator is fantastic. I love him. I think he's very cool. I'm very excited to see what they cook up in Pro League with him. But yeah, Denari, great addition. Great addition. Next up, I'm going to talk about probably the most controversial thing, and that's going to be the ACOG removal. Now, I feel like you either like the change or you hate the change. I don't really think there's a middle ground. I will say, personally, I like it. I'm kind of no, I like it. I like it. It's just tough. You know what I mean? It's tough because what they were going for, obviously, when they made this change, is they want people to play Siege a certain way, right? They want the game to be more of a, like, kind of how it used to be, where it was, when you're on defense, you're not running around the map with ACOGs, with 1.5s, just killing people. Like, it's not a free for all. You know what I mean? It's not like an arcade, it's not just like run around, kill people. What they want Siege to be on the defensive side, especially, and on the offensive side, is you are picking operators to set up a defense that has layers with traps, gadgets, utility, all this stuff, which, you hold angles, you hold these gadgets, you know what I mean? And you force the attackers to have to problem solve, peel these layers back where you can get picks, where you're positioning yourself, you get these picks while they're peeling stuff back, you're throwing all these gadgets, utility, all this stuff at the attackers, and they just have to keep problem solving, problem solving, problem solving, problem solving, and to try to get the plant down. That's how they want Siege to be. That's how Siege is played. Like if you're watching Pro League or anything like that, they don't want the game to just be run around, run around, run around, kill, 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 you know? But to a certain point, a lot of players play the game to play like that, you know? And I'll say more of like the casual side of it, you know, people who just want to hop on and do stuff like that, right? Because they come from COD, they come from all these other games, you know what I mean? So when this change happens, a lot of those people are going to be like, well, I don't really want to play super smart like that. You know, I just want to go around and, you know, kill people. And it's like, okay, well, I'm not going to play this game anymore. So I think with this change, you may lose a little bit of the fan base or a couple players, but I don't think it's going to be anything too dramatic. Obviously, when you play Siege, you want, you know, they want the people to be playing Siege like how it was designed to be played, right? So I support this decision. I think it's not bad. I think it's a good decision. I think some people will look at me and be like, "Oh, so how do you think this is a good decision?" I think it's a good decision because I like watching Pro League. I like watching those problem solvings. Obviously, it is a little annoying sometimes when I want to hop on and just get my Doc ACOG and it's not there anymore, but I do not mind the change. I think it's a good change, and I think down the line, this will age better and better. So I think those are the two biggest positives of the season. I think Denari and the ACOG removal, which I was a little skeptical about. Obviously, it's still on the DMRs and stuff like that, so if you want to use a DMR or slug, go right ahead. That a Rooney. If you're a doc main, I've seen a lot of those doc mains on a Rooney. Next up, I want to talk about probably the third biggest thing. This is gonna be my first like hate watch on Siege, or not hate watch, but I'm usually pretty like constructive when I talk about stuff. But this is I'm gonna lose my mind a little bit on this. Modernized maps, the biggest filler piece of content that maybe has ever been pushed in Siege. So you're telling me the top three biggest things that you add in a new season, which we only get 4 of per year, 4 big updates a year, right? And the third most important one is 3 maps that get recolored, retextured, and added the destructible environment. Are you serious? Are you serious? Okay? Because I'm not going to sit here and like, I will take any new content they give us, but when this is like a focal point of the season, it's like, seriously? You're adding, which they added here, I have the list. Nighthaven, Lair, and Consulate. Those are the 3 modernized maps. And I could get it being a big staple if there was more being added to the maps. Literally all they do is the texture looks a little bit different, and then they add the destructive property, which that is not big enough to warrant a whole like that to be a staple of an operation. I'm sorry. I'm assuming a lot of these maps that they're adding as these modernized things, which I don't know how long that's going to go, if it just goes to the end of the year, which like that means next season we're going to get more. I don't even know, but it's just it's a total filler. It's a total filler, and it's just kind of like a slap in the face because I guarantee they had pretty much all of these done by the time the year started, and it's just like, okay, well, we need content, so let's just throw this as a filler and then act like it's a big deal. Not enough change for it to be a pillar, right? Especially when the biggest complaint about Siege right now is we do not get enough content. We do not get enough content where the game kind of gets stale at points and they don't add cool enough stuff. And when you're dropping stuff like this, these maps, it's like, really? You know, it's like, really? It's not even really content. You load into the game and I didn't even keep up with this. I literally loaded into like, what was it? A Consulate game. And I go in the basement and I'm like, oh, I think they updated this map. Oh, okay. And I just play the game normally. It's just like you notice and you're like, oh, okay. And it's like what? Worst thing that they added all thing. Maybe it's not the worst, but it's just like we deserve more. We deserve better content than this being a focal point of a season. I've said that like 5 times, but it's just, you know, we need more. You know, we need more new things. this is new, but it's like, is it? Is adding a couple pipes around the map and updating the textures really change anything? Did it really take them that much time? You know? And I love Ubisoft. I love Siege, but it's just like, come on, do I just know they can do better. We know they can do better. So when they settle for things like this, it's a little annoying. It's a little annoying. So I'm done talking about that. Next things I'll talk about is the maybe I'll do the weapon balancing. With some of the operators, obviously we did see Lesion lose his super shorty, which I do think is a decent change. I love Lesion. I run Lesion a lot. But he was very strong, obviously, because he has such a good gun. He's a trap operator, has great utility, and he can make rotates. And it was just kind of like, okay, it was a little too much. So I do, as Legion main, it hurts, but I do agree with the change. I think it was useful. And then next up, pretty much, they just swapped. They didn't swap secondaries, but Wamai got the super shorty that Legion lost. I like this change. I think this is great. I think Wamai was just a little undermanned, right? I think his gun is all right. His ability is all right, and maybe his ability is pretty much good on every single site. And then he has like an impact, and now he, is able to bring the super shorty. So if you want to bring proximities or whatever, I just think it's a good change for Wamai. It just brings him a lot more versatility, when it comes to, running strats or, bringing him and stuff like that. So I really did like that change. For Wamai. And then I will look on the attacker side. Or no, no, no. Yeah, okay. Well, attacker and defensive side. I don't know exactly all the operators that got it, but the Reaper MK2, the secondary, like pretty much the Glock with the switch, got added to a lot of different operators. I personally do like this change. I'm glad they finally did it. Because it was just kind of sucks that it was only on Ryora. And it's not the best thing in the world at all. This gun actually stinks a lot, but it's going to be good on a lot of the attackers and defenders and stuff like that it was added onto. And it makes a lot of sense onto a lot of these guys. Like Rook got it, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Rook did get it. And then like Sledge and kind of operators like that. I don't know exactly everyone that got it, so I apologize for that, but I do think that was a really good change by them to add it on to more operators. That's what I assume they're going to do with Denari. You know what I mean? They make the secondary shotgun a little more exclusive to him, and then they're going to distribute to the other operators. Now, in terms of it in the grand view, honestly, the balancing wasn't anything too like groundbreaking, shocking, or anything like that. No major changes, but I do think there were still good changes that do a lot of good in regards to all the operators. So I will give them the flowers on that. I think it was small but very effective in that sense. And then also obviously I was talking about kind of the balancing stuff with like weapon changes, stuff like that. They also nerfed Blackbeard a good amount. I say a good amount, but he's still broken. He is still broken. It is still so annoying to play him. And here, hold on. I have the Reaper. So it was added to Ying, Oryx, Pulse, Sledge. Okay, and Rook. Okay. There we go. Okay. Nice. Okay, that's good. That's good. But yeah, so Blackbeard, it says can't breach windows with a single hit on rappel. I do really like that change. It's pretty much he can't just like go through a rappel like barricaded window. Well, it's up, which I do really like. And then the shield goes all the way down when you're reloading. So no matter like, you used to be able to, when you reloaded, you just kind of move your shield in the way you were getting shot, obviously because it flings up to the side. But you can't really do that too much anymore because the shield goes down. And then obviously he gets the one less like breach with his thing because I think he had 4. I think he has 3 now. These changes are good for him. He's just like, okay, the thing is with Blackbeard is like he literally has a shield that he can run with, that he can crouch with, that literally retracts, and he has a full automatic AR at his disposal. So it's like, you can kind of do all these nitpick changes, but it's just the root of the problem is like he's kitted. He has a full shield with an automatic gun. And it's like, he doesn't have to put on his back to use it, or, like you you kind of get where I'm going. So I do like the changes to Blackbeard. I think it makes him a little bit worse, but he's still just gonna be strong just because of what he has. You know what I mean? And that's kind of all it's ever going to be with him. Unless you remove his shield or make the gun have like 15 bullets, or make him have like a DMR, which maybe that is the move. Make him have like a DMR. I don't know. I don't know even what you can do to Blackbeard. He is just ridiculous. He is ridiculous. Next up, before there's not a lot for me to cover, honestly. Still, I know I've yapped for like 15 minutes, but that's been on the other stuff. I'm pretty sure there was some dual front things added. I'm not gonna touch them too much. Right now they do have the mute protocol thing in. Obviously they do like a new event every single season. Mute protocol. I don't really play the events too much, but I will give a little bit of a praising to them. Because I saw this on Twitter, and I made sure to check this before the video, is as the skins may not be too cool for this event, which they usually are very cool. One thing that they did do is they only have one reskin in this event, and I'm pretty sure it's the Blitz. And one of my biggest things that I did in a lot of past videos is when they would launch these events recently, they do a lot of reskins, and they would do like all reskins, and it would just be the same skins that they had the last event, like the last time it was out, and they just reskin the colors. And it was just really annoying and frustrating because it's like, okay, you can make cool skins, so why are you being lazy and just adding reskins? New skins. New skins. They may not be the coolest, but it's a step in the right direction. So I did want to give Ubisoft their props on that. And this Memento skin looks actually fire. Looks so far. But yeah, I wanted to give them their kind of flowers on that one. One thing then, I'm gonna move on to a little duck down. I know this is little, but the operator screen, I don't have as big of a problem as some people have with it, but I would like a cooler background instead of Nighthaven Labs. I'm just gonna leave it at that. I'm not gonna touch it too much. Just kind of like the past ones. We want cool ones, cool backgrounds, not just of the map. I get it got modernized, but I'm gonna be honest, I don't really care. I want some cooler. That's a little bit of a nitpick, though, I will say. And it isn't really too much of an issue for me. I will say next up, I'm reading this. They updated the name thing, I'm pretty sure. I did realize this. You go by your Ubisoft name now. I think that's kind of cool. It just gives you more customization. I'm pretty sure they did add some, like, yeah, you can like private your name or something and stuff like that. That's all right. They updated the anti-cheat, I guess, a little bit more. R6 Shield Guard I'm seeing. I haven't really noticed that. I don't know, beats me. The cheating problem, I think, is still large and stuff like that. So it really didn't help too much. So I'm not going to talk about it too much. And then the last thing I'm going to talk about, because the last new thing, is they added this championship tab, I guess, into the esports thing. So you can kind of look at all the different what am I talking about? Like things that went on. So you can kind of like see the days and stuff like that. Obviously this is ongoing. You can see the times that all the things start. Obviously we have all of the actual Pro League leagues, and then we have like the Munich Major and then the Siege Invitational, which is cool. It's a very little thing, but it is still very cool. Just keeps people more informed, and I hope this like is able to continue to grow, because I do really like Pro League. I'm a very advocate for it, especially on getting better at season stuff like that. But yeah, I want this thing to grow. I want this, this tab to grow, just so it can bring new players, make it easier for, people to watch Siege, to learn about the players, to learn about the teams, stuff like that, events, things that are going on, make it very easily accessible to watch Pro League and keep up with it, and I think this is a very great start, and I was very happy when they added this in Siege X, and I'm glad that they are still adding things. I want to see maybe some things with like players, in-depth stats, I think would be a very cool thing to add to this. Obviously, that's going to take some time, so, I'm not going to sit here and bug them too much, but I think that would be a very cool thing. But yeah, that's it. That's it. And you might be thinking 20 minutes, Austin. That's a lot of content. I pretty much yapped a lot of the video, I will say, on what my thoughts were on the thing. So, pretty much in depth, we got a new operator, some gun balancing, ACOGs removed. What else? A new secondary shotgun on one operator. 3 modernized maps. And the championship tab. So about 6, and if you want to add the cheating stuff, it's 7. So it's 6 or 7 things. But yeah, so I will say my final take on the season is I'm going to give this a 4.5 or a 5 out of 10. I think people are hating on this season just a tad too much, but I do not think it is very good either. I think it is very mediocre, and I think pretty much the biggest saving grace of the season is Denari. If this was a reworked operator, or if this was a new operator that was worse than Denari, like if we got Ryora this season would probably be like a 2 or a 3. We just in general just need more content. We need more new content. I'm sick of these modernized maps. We need new maps. We need a new ranked system. We need a new rank. They need to add like 1v1 ranked, 2v2 ranked. Like they need to add they have so many cool things that they can add, and it's just like Siege X was supposed to be this big grand thing, and what did they add, like in the second season of it all time? I get they're kind of getting their, wings under their buckles. They just spent a lot of time on this, but it's like you're adding a new operator, 3 new maps that are not new. They just have a couple of tweaks to them, which doesn't affect how they play pretty much at all. And you take away ACOGs. It just seems like it's very lazy. It's not a lot. Honestly, I'm going to give it like a 4, 4.5. I was giving Denari too much credit, but Denari is the saving grace of the season. Honestly, I hope Siege is better. I'm probably going to make a video on the Save Siege thing and kind of my thoughts and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, that's going to be all for today's video, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. I'm sorry I yapped a lot in this video, but I really hope, you agree with a lot of the points that I brought up. I want to hear what your thoughts are on this season and some of the new things. Like, what are your thoughts on Denari? What are your thoughts on ACOG, especially? I want to hear from you guys on that. Because I know I said that I liked it, but I want to hear what you guys have to say about that, especially. And what do you want to see? What do you want to see in Siege come out? What new content do you want? Because obviously I said I'm going to make probably a Save Siege video, but, I want to voice my thoughts on that, but I also want to voice your thoughts, because the community is the most important thing within a video game. And if the community come together and help out, because we all want to see Siege succeed, if we can, do that, put our ideas together, they listen to us, it's going to be money. So, yeah, do that if you would like to. And yeah, that's going to be all for today's video, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed that one, or this one. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.